Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus the Riven Realms. We're here in Salem still. We gotta go find where the miners were. The only thing you missed is I did go back and I fixed the salt debacle from the last episode. So we still have the salt to take back to Cobber on the other side of the world here. But right now, we gotta go find these miners, or their camp that is. And it's right over here. It is right over here. Where is it? I thought it was right here. I'm confused. Is it not here? Oh, wait a minute. I know. You have to go in. Pay no attention. Anyway, so let's go look for the camp of the dead crew on the old plateau. You are able to find the place where the sickly miners used to work quite quickly, despite it being tucked away in a ravine. Cavernous holes line the walls, some of which have stagnant greenish liquid pooling here and there. The camp is not a pretty sight. It looks as if a gigantic invisible hand reached out of the sky and knocked over everything. Amphora of supplies, salt piles, tools, and tents. There are also the remains of the miners who succumbed to the sickness. Their salt-dried, wizened bodies lie all around the area. It is a grim place, and nobody from your crew wants to linger here. This is ruthless. Yes, take their salt. Give the order, and they take the salt. Let's bury the dead, and then scout the area. Lots of nooks and crannies. A thorough search of the area reveals a little at first, but then one of your komes shouts for you, and the crew gathers to look at a large crevice at the back of a dark, cavernous hole in the salt. It leads down into the ground, and as far as you can see, it is possible to descend into it. A low, grinding groan escapes the crevice, and the crew gasps upon hearing it. Could something live down there? Is it this hole? That's a cool picture. Take a few of your companions and descend into the salty bowels of the earth. The salty bowels. That sounds rough. Anyway, you descend into the crevice. The darkness closes in around you while an acrid stench sits heavily in the air. You soon reach a cavernous hall. Where's my glowing lizard? Every time I see this picture, there's always a little glowing lizard in there. You descend into the chasm and reach the bottom. The cold, dry air of the cave here carries a strange, acrid smell. Even by the faint light coming through the shaft you used to enter through, you can see that several tunnels lead into utter darkness. All the walls and surfaces are made of petrified salt, and there are even stalactites and stalagmites in the cave. Pools of greenish, stagnant slime glimmer here and there. You are about to decide what to do when you notice a distant grinding sound, like a low murmur. It comes from quite a ways away. Climb back up. We're out of here. No, let's scout the tunnel. We get to take 3 people with us. Let's take Sidarius, Gorgoro, and Nadir. They're probably our 3 strongest characters. Your small company spends some time searching the tunnels. One of you stumbles into a cavern where, to your surprise, a copper pipe comes out of a salt wall, crosses the hall, and flows down one of the tunnels. It is about a foot in diameter and seems damaged at places, even though the metal has not completely punctured anywhere yet. You listen carefully to the pipe and hear some kind of noise coming from inside it. It's like something moving inside. The amount of copper used to build this pipe is quite shocking, to the point that you must conclude that it had to be created pre-calamity. This seems like a bad idea. You kneel down and prepare to peel back the copper with a knife. The moment you puncture the pipe, a loud hiss is heard and a scalding hot gas shoots out of it. Although you were prepared for that possibility, the random direction of the emission catches some of your companions off guard. Luckily, they react quick enough and nobody gets burned. You make some distance from the puncture and the pressure soon falls in the pipe, rendering the initial gas leak into a dripping of greenish fluid. It is the same fluid you've seen before in the tunnels, the same fluid seen all over the northern half of Bryn Mawr, in fact. Interesting. Huh. You follow the pipeline carefully, ducking into narrow tunnels and crossing cavernous halls. The occasional pool of stagnant, foul-smelling liquid that can be found on the surface must have come from the damaged pipes. It appears that the same green ooze must have carved out of these underground corridors and caves during decades, perhaps even centuries. Your cavern your company soon comes across other pipes and odd black flexible ducts that crisscross these caverns. They must be leading somewhere, so you decide to follow them, although it is no easy task. We could go for the 10% or 20%. Oh, I see. That's kind of cool. If you use one extra resourcefulness, you get twice the bonus. Oh, you could do both. Interesting. Okay, I think we'll go for double because it gives us to very high. We succeeded. After stumbling along dark tunnels in the salt for a while, you manage to find the place where the pipes lead. They coalesce into a spacious cave where one of the walls is made of what seems like hard rock at first. The plumbing snakes into that section, and you soon realize that it is not a rock face, but it is in fact stone that was fashioned into blocks, fitted seamlessly and built into a barrier that must be buried under the salt. Or perhaps it was here back when the basin was an inner sea before the calamity. At any rate, it looks old and decidedly not imperial or draconic. One of your companions wanders away and finds another similar wall section further down the cave, then another one. You soon realize that these must be part of the same structure. Whatever it is, it seems to go on forever, at times visible, other times hidden behind salt formations. Where the ceiling is higher, you can follow the structure upwards with your gaze and it disappears into the cavern's roof. You decide to follow the structure to see where it leads. You take your companions and follow the stone edifice for a while. It is huge. It seems to go on forever under the salt basin, and although its segments have no openings, not even windows, pipes and cables issue out of it at intervals to disappear into the salt or into the tunnels. You can hear a grinding noise sometimes from behind the stone, occasionally also accompanied by an eerie humming. Pools of the stagnant ooze dot the tunnels, and it seems like the source of it is the damaged pipe. An acrid stinging stench sits in the air here. Despite your sense of wonder, you are about to turn back when you see lights in the distance. We will advance towards the lights. Our stagnant poison value cannot exceed the requirement. Thank goodness. Oh no, we got acid lungs! Ah! Navigating the labyrinth of tunnels in the salt has led you to a section of caverns where magical lights are placed at intervals on the walls in the form of imbued lamps of blue crystal. Some of these tunnels are not formed naturally, but excavated and stanchioned. The corridors lead to a large cavern where someone has dug out a hefty part of the gigantic stone structure. Although this section does not have doors either, it has odd markings and a series of murals. Several pipes exit the stonework and disappear into the ceiling. One of them is as wide as a tower. Tools, amphora, and crates lie in the bluish light of the crystal lamps. By the look of it, the excavation must have involved an attempt or two to breach the stone structure, or at least take parts of it. Several other tunnels lead out of the cave, and nobody is here apart from your party. You decide to take a look around. I'm taking the lamps. You remove a couple of crystal lamps, leaving just enough to provide light for further looting. The party also finds some quality tools that the excavation crew left behind, as well as stone tablets with ancient carvings and a book of arcane text. Not a bad haul altogether. More good quality tools. We have 2 sets now. We will try to search the place thoroughly. A thorough search of the surrounding tunnels in the cave reveals little in addition to what you already know. A brigade of 24 must have worked here, but left days ago. No activity has occurred here, at least nothing that has left any signs. The cave is thoroughly buttressed to be safe and well lit for the crew to be effective. From the looks of it, you would say that after digging out most of the stonework, the people here researched the edifice for some time. Then one of your companions walks up to you and hands you a sling bag that must have been left behind by one of the excavation or research crew. It has the Scythicness insignia on it. You also find some odd dwarven gadgets in a wooden box. Neat. Uh-oh. Before you could decide, you hear someone approach. Your companions become aware of the approaching noises as quickly as you do, but it is too late. Before you could regroup or leave furtively through a tunnel, 2 soldiers clad in opalescent dragon steel armor walk into the room and stare at you in astonishment. You lock gazes with them while your companions are waiting for your reaction. We are a friend of the Covenant. Tell them to escort you out of here at once. Tell them you are a friend of the Covenant. You have no time for it! Oh man! The soldiers draw their blades with alarming ferocity and run at you, letting out a draconic roar so loud that it echoes through the caverns. Your companions leap in front of you to protect your skin. Thank God. And it's only... Holy hell! They're dressed in like diamond Minecraft armor. Are they more dangerous than the red guys? They don't seem that dangerous. 17? Let's see here. Sidarius, you should be on this side. And then Nadir definitely... Actually, Nadir, just like hide all the way back there. Alright. Burn them. You blocked something that really can't be blocked. You roared at me? Oh, it stunned me. Interesting. Let's Bane this guy. And now... Maybe throw out our little gremlin man? Excuse me? I can't gremlin? I could only... Oh, you know what? I bet I have to gremlin next to where Nadir is. That's interesting. Blocked for 2 damage. Stop roaring at my tanks, you nerd. We'll just chunk this middle guy down. Haha, nerd. Do it again. And he's dead. Burned for 4. Break some of his armor. Oh, he still lives. Not after this, Oh! He lived. He still lives. I wonder if Invoke the Flame gives him resistance to fire. What does this do? You gonna tell me? Fire damage? Armor. Res all. So he must be resisting the fire damage, I assume. I thought it was resurrect all. I was like, what a move. The Opal Dragon Guard's soldiers have fallen, but before you can catch your breath, you realize that the tunnels are now flooded with a cacophony of agitated shouts, marching boots, and the rattling of armor. Wait here and surrender? No. Advance into the tunnel where you came from, even though you can hear approaching soldiers from there. Or try to run down a tunnel that does not ring from the noises of approaching soldiers. Well, your party runs down a random corridor, closely pursued by a horde of Dragon Guard soldiers. You take random turns trying to gain distance and perhaps shake the pursuit. Because of their heavy armor, the soldiers fall behind for a while, and you run into a cavern with a low ceiling, only to realize that it is a dead end. Rats. Turning back, you come face to face with a pair of Dragon Guard warriors who advance down the tunnels towards you in lockstep. Perhaps you can use this bottleneck to your advantage. Okay, that's better than just being overwhelmed. This guy has purple armor. Are you weaker or stronger? He has less health. 2 armor? You also have 2 armor. Maybe they're roughly equivalent. All right, this time, I'm gonna rearrange a little bit. Nadir, you stay over here, and maybe you can summon... Yeah, little demon man. They hate the demon. All right, break this guy's armor. Oh, crit is fantastic. Now, scratch his face. I know it doesn't damage him, but it does debuff him. I don't know exactly what it does. Initiative. Hey, I'll knock him down in initiative. That's pretty solid. Hack him. Hack him again. He's gone. Owie. Burn. Crit for 1. Take that. You didn't see that coming. Break his armor. Oh man, Gorgoro's going wild. Burn him to death? Fantastic. That went pretty well. I think we only took 1 damage there. From a disciplined swing. The first pair of... Wow! Ooh, look at this guy. The first pair of Dragon Guard are defeated, and you can already see another 2 getting ready to advance on you, supported by a Dragon Mage. Oh, there's 24 of them at the other end of the tunnel. You can hold this narrow passage for a while, perhaps, but for how long? Well, considering we killed 2 of them and took 1 damage in return, we could probably kill all 24 of them. It would be a slugfest, but I think we could do it. With every minute, reinforcements that would be the problem, could arrive for the enemy while your companions collect wounds in every engagement. Your mind is racing with thoughts of escape, but short of a miracle, you seem to be trapped here. Then you hear a voice call out from behind the line of soldiers. Interlopers! The man's voice is deep and cold. There is no need to drag this out. We know that you hit a dead end. There is no way out. Believe me, we know these tunnels, but there is no need for further bloodshed. Surrender and you shall not be harmed. I don't know if I trust this guy. The man has walked forward, and now you can see him in the light of the crystal lamps. He is a tall dragonkin, his bald head adorned by a crown of horns. He's wearing blue and purple robe with a silver hem. His demeanor suggests decisiveness and power. Your companions look at you, expecting a decision. Tell him to F off! Ask the man what he and his people are doing here. He laughs dryly. That is none of your business, stranger. We are agents of this Cathicnus Covenant, and this is our jurisdiction. That is all you need to know. But surrender and we can talk about it. You think about what to do and see the man consult it with his second in command, a Dragon Guard captain. You need assurances that you will not be harmed. There is no assurance, the man tells you smilingly. But I am a man of my word. You will not be harmed if you surrender. I feel like this is an instant death if we tell him to F off. I like the idea, but let's try to be smart. You signal your companions to drop their weapons and walk out of the cavern. They do so, if ever so reluctantly, and you can't watch as a dozen Dragon Guard warriors surround you, weapons drawn. You raise your hand as a gesture of surrender and tell them you fell into the tunnels and got lost. Their comrades attacked you on sight and you had to defend yourselves. But the Dragon Guard do not react, and neither does the Dragonkin man that talked to you. He stops a few paces from you. Okay, well, that was rude. Okay, well, don't trust the Dragon King guy. All right, I'm going to pause. I'll bring us right back to when that guy ganked us. Be right back. And we're back. All right, I should have trusted my gut. Never trust a Dragon Man in a tunnel. Tell the man to F off. I commend you on your courage, stranger, the man says after a dry chuckle. Even if your decision is unwise, I have an army and all the time in the world. He stops and considers this for a moment. Actually, he steps forward and summons the flame into his palm in the form of a pure orb of energy. It takes you a moment to realize what is about to happen. You yell a warning to your companions, but it is too late. It tosses the orb forward. It flies in a straight line with lightning speed and detonates the moment it reaches the mouth of your cavern. You are hurled back and watch helplessly as the roof comes down on you. Darkness engulfs you, and then there is oblivion. Priests often talk about miracles performed by the gods and their saints. You do not know till the end of your days what happened in the Salt Cavern, whether it was indeed a divine miracle or luck or something else entirely. You come to in utter darkness and wonder if you are in Tartarus. Then you hear a cough to your left and consider the possibility of lost souls coughing in the afterlife. Then there is light, tiny and weak and faltering, but light. One of your companions lit a small lantern, and now you can see that you are still underground in the Salt Cavern. The roof came down upon you, but somehow a large, harder chunk of salt collapsed into the middle of the cave and held up the worst of the rubble, leaving you a crawl space under the immense weight. None of you suffered more than scratches and bruises. Unfortunately, your survival may only mean that you are destined to die of thirst, entombed in utter darkness. You take a look around. Once you gathered your wits and come to terms with your miraculous survival, as well as your current predicament, you tell your companions to take a look around. To the amazement of all of you, one of your companions finds a collapsed wall section that leads into what looks like a long, narrow tunnel with a stream of ooze at its bottom. Ew. None of you are enthusiastic about crawling into it and come into contact with the harmful liquid. But you have no choice. Garrick cannot be present. I wonder what happens if Garrick is with you. You crawl for a long time, checking out side passages, praying to whatever you believe in for the chance to get back to the surface. The slime is everywhere, and you start to cough, choke, and rub your stinging eyes constantly as its acrid-smelling vapors engulf you into the dark tunnel. Ooh, are we gonna get the poison? I guess we got acid lung already. The passage leads into a larger hall, and from there a maze of tunnels in the salt. It takes another half an hour, and your party makes it to a crack in the ceiling with a shaft of light coming through it. With renewed hope, your companions enlarge the hole so that all of you can fit through, and you ascend to the surface to find yourself on the salt flats of the basin. It takes time to locate the Comitatus camp near the crevice you used to descend into the maze below. Your crew cheers your return and listens to the account of your adventures with a mixture of awe and dread. Quite a lot of time has passed since your descent, but at least you are now safe. You also realize that the odd opal mage and his soldiers must think you are dead, and this perhaps gives you some kind of an edge should you choose to pursue the matter. You will not be able to go up against them alone. Not Salt Miner Burgavor. You will need one of the factions present in Salem to be able to strike back. You weakened, we lost our movement, and we gained acid lung on all companions. But we did get insight. Huh. Okay. How long does acid lung last? Maybe one of the companions that we took into the hole? Takes 3 days. Initiative, accuracy, tough, and mighty. That's pretty bad. So let's go back to Salem. There goes all our movement. Let's go back to Salem and rest up. Secrets below. Our journal has been updated. Seek allies. We are pretty good friends with that one guy. So that's one day gone. Inspect. Head to the Manzio. How many... We could get a little more supplies, I think. And then we should probably get rid of acid lungs by resting for 2 days. So what we will do is just have our people work. And let's talk to Ren real quick. How's your research on life drain going? Have an ancient text, and then have an ancient tablet. Alright, he has not discovered any more about his plan to become immortal, but that's fine. And then rest one more time to clear the acid lung. I assume I can't just like hand him all of the... Every 30 days, okay. And then 20 days for that one. Keep on reading the books, man. Alright, you guys keep working. We'll make money just like living in town. Alright, good. Now let's go... Explore town. Buy some salt? Sure, why not? And then we will go to the Ratharnak, because they don't like the other people. Let's see here. Yes! Inform Welgen about what you have seen. I'm tattling to Ratharnak. About what you have seen under the Bryn Mare's surface. Chief Agent Welgen is the right person if you are planning to inform the Ratharnak Alliance of the altercation in the salt tunnels below the basin, as well as its implications. Once you do this, you will not be able to side with another faction regarding this matter. This is an interesting question. Could I go tell, like, the Imperium? Seek allies in Salem. Oh, you know what? I should go talk to the people at the inn. Sorry, Chief Welgen, I didn't mean to talk to you. The inn. Contact Zashara. This is what we want to do, because we're a loyal Imperial peon. Report your findings to the Imperial sleeper agent. Zashara is the right person if you are planning to inform the Empire of the altercation in the salt tunnels below the basin. Once you do this, yeah. So inform the Imperial spy. Yes, this is what we wanted to do. You take your time to recount how you took it upon yourself to find and search the camp of a group of salt miners who had a strange accident on the northeastern side of the old plateau. Once you got there, you came across a crevice that opened into a maze under the salt, and how you descended below the basin to see what secrets the deep holds. You tell her that you have found a cyclopean artificial stone structure buried in the salt, grinding, spewing the green ooze that is all over the Bryn Mare. When you tell her how you were jumped by a group of Opal Dragon Guard and was subsequently almost buried in a cavern by the hands of their mage, you add how you ended up in the apparently off-limits corridors by accident and tried to tell this to the soldiers there to no avail. Although Zashara keeps a straight face throughout your story, you can tell from the slight flush on her cheeks that she is excited about the news. Once you are done, she leans back and her gaze darts about the room as she is no doubt contemplating her next move. This is it, she announces eventually. What I've been waiting for. All the little clues, all the theories, all the work that has led us here, Vagrus. It is all thanks to you and your inquisitiveness. I'm stunned and very grateful. Let me assure you that the Empire will not forget such patriotism. I'll put in a good word for you right away. In fact, mention your work in the message to my superiors. All the same time, we have to act. Sure enough, the mage you came across must believe you dead, but word of your arrival will eventually get back to him, especially because I've just been hanging out in town for a couple days. He must belong to a rogue faction inside Scathicnus. There's no way that all this was done with the consent of the Covenant's leadership. Even though they are the Empire's enemies, we know all too well that where they will cross the line. This mage, on the other hand, is sure to have eliminated others to keep his operation silent. You ask her if she has any idea what the stone structure is. I will not lie, I only have a vague notion. Based on what I already knew and what you have just told me, I assume it is a vast structure of stone, metal, machinery, and magic, large enough to reach the rim of the Western Basin. It must have been built before the Calamity and built underwater, because the Bryn Mawr and Alkalis Basin used to form a large inner sea. Then it survived the fall of the old empire, perhaps conserved when the sea evaporated and the salt appeared. It must be the source of great power and knowledge, so we cannot let it fall into the hands of the dragons unhindered. You ask Zishara what she plans to do. The Empire has to sabotage this operation, steal as much knowledge of the research as possible, and unlikely as it sounds, alert the proper covenant to the existence of the rogue element. We must act quickly, but I have limited resources. I plan on entering by way of the crevice you discovered and ambush the rogue mage's forces and eliminate him while tipping off the Scathicnus about the whole matter, so that they would clean up as we make our escape. I need your help with all this. I'm sure you crave payback, too. You agree to help her sabotage the rogue operation. Wow! The church is like, yes! Excellent. A true patriot. You have my utmost respect. Somebody's calling me. I shall gather my small force and get to the miners' camp. Rendezvous with you there. Don't take too long. There we'll descend into the tunnels where you'll lead us to the heart of the operation. Once there, we'll deal with the rogue soldiers and take everything we can. Come prepared, Vagrus. This will surely be rough. She rises to leave. Again, let me say this service to the Empire will not go unrewarded. Go with the blessing of the Emperor and the Triumvirate. You will leave Zishara, or you will meet Zishara at the rendezvous point. Okay. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. Let's just check on our companions. Yep, the acid is gone. We'll probably get it back, honestly. But I thought we should clear it at the very least. I think we should buy the last of the supplies again, just to make sure for some reason, who knows, maybe we end up stuck in the salt flats for a long time. I don't want that to happen. But we'll go back. Visit the crevice that leads into the salt tunnels. Leave the crevice and the campsite. I'm kind of thinking we should the episode's like 27 minutes long. It's a little short, but I think we should pause the episode here and then dive into the cavern next episode. As much as I hate to give you guys a cliffhanger, or maybe I love it, who knows. But I think we'll pause there. If you guys enjoyed the episode, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Vagrus, the Riven Realms, you want to see what lies below, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!